Well, should we get started?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Dad bods and beards.
Yeah. I was
wondering if you were going to do that. Is this going to become a new thing?
It really is. And no one will know why we're doing it unless they've listened to some of the episodes. Hey, everybody. This is Tyson.
And Logan.
And you're listening to Dad Bods and Beards podcast. It's a show that gives you a fresh look on being a father, a husband, and honestly, a man being in today's world.
For people who want to have a good time, laugh, and be uplifted, thanks for subscribing and listening. Now for the show.
So, so you just got home from vacation, like a 2-week-long vacation, and we haven't talked literally until just now. So tell me about it.
Oh, dude, it was a freaking blast. I mean, we were gone Thursday through the following Sunday, so about a week and a half. So my mother-in-law and her husband, my father-in-law, my wife's stepdad, took us on a all-expense-paid trip to Hawaii, to Oahu. I've never been before. We stayed in like a Marriott beach resort.
Oh, wow.
Like the legit, like high end. And it was like the condo one. So it had like a full kitchen, laundry, everything inside your room. So it was like we had separate rooms with like a living room and a full kitchen and stuff. So we went grocery shopping. And it was like basically we lived in Hawaii for a little over a week. Dude, I kind of put my like diet and like stuff. I still went to the gym. I went to the gym in Hawaii a few times. They have a really nice gym in the resort. But I did not watch what I ate, and I gained like 6 pounds. Dude, everything is like all you can eat. Everything is all you can eat. We went to this place called the Polynesian Cultural Center, where basically it's if you've never been there before, you don't know what it is on Oahu. It's where you can kind of go and learn about all the different Pacific islands and all the different cultures, you know, like Samoan, Tongan, you know, Fiji, New Zealand, what's the other one? Obviously Hawaii. I know I'm probably forgetting one or two, but anyways, we did that. And then there was an all you can eat buffet. And then we went to a luau at the resort and it was an all you can eat buffet. And it was like my wife's stepdad is like notorious for like, if you go to their house and you eat like, or like you're hungry, like it's your own fault. Like he keeps everything stocked. So when we went to the store, me and him to go grocery shopping for the week, dude did not hold back. We had enough food for 2.5 weeks. So it was just, because it's grandpa, his grandkids are there. He's buying the Captain Crunch, a bunch of Oreos and like, ice cream. And then we bought a ton of breakfast food. It was a really nice, relaxing experience. I mean, literally we would walk right out the main entrance of the hotel and it was a private beach.
That is way cool.
That we would just hang out on. And we went snorkeling in like this coral cove called Sharks Cove and all these super tropical fish. And there was like sea turtles. And
did you get thalassophobia there?
No, I didn't. Oh, wait, actually I did a little bit. I did. I wouldn't go super deep into the ocean, like the beach that's right at our resort. I didn't really go past my chest in the water because I have the thalassophobia, not flaccid phobia. Just like the whole, like, I can't see what's beneath me in the water. But yeah, like it was really cool. The kids loved it. We ate at a bunch of different local, like mom and pop places. And dude, I mean, nobody even freaking speeds there. Like the freeways, everyone's just cruising. Like everyone's on island time. Like it's just so low key and chill. I loved it.
That's way cool.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say is my 5-year-old, when we landed back in the Salt Lake airport and we're sitting there on the curb waiting for my dad to come pick us up. My little 5-year-old sits down, Elliot, and he goes, "That's just big old sigh." Mind you, we red-eyed it. Like we came in on a red eye. Like we landed at 9:00 in the morning. It was bad. And he goes, "I just want to stay in Hawaii." So, I was super grateful to my mother-in-law and father-in-law for taking us there and just sharing that experience with us. And then just being able to relax and not having to worry about vacation expenses. I've never experienced that. That was awesome. So, yeah, like I said, it's super grateful. And that kind of plays into kind of what we're talking about today is gratitude. because it's Turkey Week, and it's not just about food; it's also about being thankful, right?
Yeah, and food. I am excited to eat. The funeral potatoes. I don't know. Everyone always makes fun of me outside of Utah. They're like, "What are funeral potatoes?" I'm like, I know. It's like a cheesy casserole.
No, now funeral potatoes. Are you like the full slices of potatoes, or basically just like the cubes, like the hash browns?
Oh no, it's sliced. You can't cube
Yeah,
it.
it's basically scallop
Weird.
potato.
Yeah, it's weird. It has to be sliced, and then I think what is it? Cream of mushroom or cream of chicken?
I think it's cream of chicken and cheese.
And cheese, and then cornflakes on top of it. However,
see, the cornflakes is weird. Cornflakes is the Utah
it
thing.
is weird, but I'm not going to lie. I once, Candace, my wife, she was like, "Hey, Tyson, go get cornflakes." Well, it's a couple of nights before, so that don't get sold out or anything. So guess who didn't do that? And so, the day of Thanksgiving, Kay's like, "Where are the cornflakes?" I'm like, "I forgot them." So I had to hurry and rush. And I went to like 3 stores, and all the cornflakes are sold out. All the generic cornflakes are sold out. So I had to use Frosted Flakes. I will never go back to
probably
regular
better.
cornflakes. Frosted
I was going to
Flakes.
say that was probably better.
I was like,
yeah, you throw a little
"We
bit
gotta
of sugar
use
on
Frosted
top.
Flakes every year."
Yeah, that's funny. Now, see, my favorite Thanksgiving dish is. I'm not a turkey guy. I don't really like turkey. I'll eat a turkey leg or I'll eat some of the dark meat. Obviously, everybody likes the dark meat. I salivate for a really good honey ham. Like I am a honey ham guy.
Yeah.
And like the mashed potatoes. And I love the green bean casseroles. I hate cranberry sauce. I do not like cranberry sauce.
I don't do cranberries either.
No. Stuffing. Oh my gosh. I would eat an entire bowl of stuffing. Just everyone's like, "Ew, you like moist bread?" I'm like, "Bring it."
See, the best is a roll. I like a dinner roll with the honey ham, like you're talking about, and the funeral potatoes.
Yeah,
it is heaven.
Yeah,
I get emotional thinking about it.
I love a good mashed potato and gravy, or like even baked potatoes. But to round it all out, dude, I will eat pumpkin pie until I am sick, and I will eat it without whipped cream. That's how much I enjoy it.
Yeesh. I can't do pumpkin pie. I can't do
pumpkin pie.
If it's apple pie, apple crisp, anything apple, I'll eat it. Pumpkin.
There's hardly actually even any pumpkin in the pumpkin pie.
Yeah, but
it's mainly squash. It's different.
It's the texture. It's like mushrooms. I can't do mushrooms either.
Yeah, dude. You don't like mushrooms?
I don't. It's the texture. The taste doesn't bother me. Like if you do a fried mushroom, I'll pop those in, but it's like the squids. I can't do calamari or anything like that. It's the texture.
Dude, I got my 7-year-old to try calamari in Hawaii. She didn't hate it. She liked the taste, but it was just like the chewiness that she didn't care for. Oh, texture thing. I will give you okay. Do you like oysters and like mussels?
Clams. I'm just joking because of clam chowder.
I'm not talking about like a cooked clam inside clam chowder. I'm talking like crack a shell, slurp it down.
No, heavens no.
Yeah. The funny thing is like I'm pretty sure my dad doesn't like mushrooms. He's kind of like you.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he's eaten oysters or mussels or whatever. I could be completely wrong. Maybe I was having a conversation with a different person. And I'm like, you won't eat mushrooms, but you'll slurp a freaking sea booger down. Like
seriously though.
It's like a freaking loogie inside of a shell. Like it's like no.
So true though.
But
it's gross.
Obviously, Thanksgiving isn't just about food. It's about football. So
oh yeah, it's just any team I cheer for always loses every year.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of done with it. Dude,
Niners,
how do I lose? Fantasy football so easy. Like my team hasn't showed up for the past 2 weeks.
Dude, I haven't showed up for the last few weeks. I feel kind of bad because I committed to the league and then I have kind of been in and out with work and vacation and I just kind of like whatever. But I really tried this week. Like I dropped a couple guys, I added a couple guys, I set it all up. Dude, I think I ended up with I did about 130 points. I didn't do bad. But I got beat. By 133. You been?
Yeah, I got 90. I was so the punishment for our league this week is they think it's hilarious is I have to roast someone. So they did the will and it's like, oh, someone put Tyson roast the loser, and I'm the loser, and I'm like, so am I just ragging on myself the whole time? Like, what's going on?
Are we still having to do the whole? We still have to chug like a Sprite
you have like a whole 12-pack of Sprite.
Do I? That's funny. Because I had another 0 this week.
Oh, seriously?
I tried. Yeah, he freaking what's his name? Gabe Davis on the Buffalo Bills. He went goose egg, man.
Garrett Wilson had
Yeah.
0.9.
Well,
I'm like, are you joking me?
Hey, that's still not a 0.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have Brock Purdy. He did 26 points. I have
Dang.
freaking Saquon Barkley. He did freaking 30 points.
Well, he's the Giants.
And then and then Jamar Gibbs did 20 something points. I had these high scoring things, but I still got beat.
Because you had a 0.
Anyways, I know. Had I not had a 0, I'd have totally smashed him. But anyways, all joking aside, we've talked about food. We've talked about football. We've gotten those out of the way. Thanksgiving is about thankfulness. It's about gratitude. It's about just being aware of the things that you have in your life that you should be thankful for. You know, sometimes forget that you need to pay attention to when you're having some downtimes. Right. We've talked about gratitude a little bit before, and a little bit later on, some of you guys that are listening know Robert Michaelis, one of our buddies. I'd have to say he has one of the best beards on social media, if not in the freaking country. Like,
no, true.
He is a huge proponent of gratitude, like to the point where Tyson, I don't have to explain this to you, Tyson, but like, he is just like, he's almost addicted to gratitude in the best way possible. Like he cannot not be grateful for everything he has, for what he's gone through. So I asked him for a little audio snippet. So we'll play that in a little bit, but just about his feelings on gratitude. He's on the East Coast. He's over in Florida. I asked him to come on, but he had to go to bed because he
goes to bed at 8:30, but he gets up at like 4 or 3:30.
He's like super routine, and we're recording at 9:00 Mountain Time. So
yeah,
he's been asleep for like 3 hours easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the whole grateful thing. So our whole family, the past, I would say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we and Candace and I have made a conscious effort to do things as a family, specifically dinner. And so we'll have dinner no matter what with everyone. Like everyone is there. No phones, no TV, no electronics of any sort, and we're at the table. Sure. And then we eat. And as we're eating, we go around and we call it highs, lows, and gratitudes. That's what we call it. And so every
highs, lows, and gratitude.
And so everyone has to go around and say, my high for today is this. My low today was this. And then I'm gratitude for this. And so we all 7 of us now, because Isaac's out of the house, all of us will do that. And it's changed our family dynamic. I really do believe that, because now we're spending quality time, because all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what type of attitude we had at the moment. Now we're grateful and we show. And then if we had a particular low, that now we know maybe something that brought our kids down, so we can talk about it. Like, oh, really? And we'll actually talk. And so dinner that normally would take 10 minutes is now taking us an hour and a half to 2 hours. And all of us are really enjoying it. And then we play games. Like, I'm going to a movie and I brought a dog. And then you have to ask these certain questions, and you start asking questions and you figure out what movie they're going to and what they're talking about. And there's a lot of different games that we've been playing as a family, all because we're sitting down as a family and talking about the things we're grateful for. When you are grateful, it really does bring out a different, it doesn't take away your stresses. It doesn't take away your hard times and hardships, but what it does is gives you a different perspective, realizing that my life isn't as bad as I might think it is. So,
yeah. I love that, dude. Like, I love that for you guys, because we talk about this all the time. You guys are at a different stage than me and my family, because I still have just littles. Like, my oldest is 7; she'll be 8 in May, and then I only have 2 kids, and my youngest is 5, so he's in kindergarten. So my wife tries to do that. She talks about, like, what's the happy part of your day, what's the sad part of your day. Unfortunately, with my work schedule, I don't always make it home in time for dinner, when the kids are getting hungry and stuff like that. But when we do get to sit down, my daughter, Olivia, she'll go, "Oh, are we having family dinner?" And it's like, I love that excites her, that like, oh, mom and dad. And she like makes it a point of like, oh, we're having family dinner. We're all here. And I try to, on the weekends, I try to make up for it and do like big breakfasts on Saturday or Sunday. So I love that you've made that like a priority. And one thing you said, like, no phones. I saw this thing on TikTok about phone etiquette when it comes to talking to somebody and like talking to, whether it's a friend, a family member, a significant other, your own children, or you're sitting down for a meal. Like, what's the first thing you do when you sit down? You put your phone down on the table at the time, right? And then people will be like, oh, I don't want to be rude. So then they just turn their phone screen down, but the
Mhm.
distraction is still there on the table. So I saw this thing about like, just keep it in your pocket, literally keep it in your pocket. Try that. So I've been trying to do that, especially going on vacation this last week, going out to dinner with my wife, going out to dinner with, my in-laws and the kids. I tried to keep my phone away, which you barely,
hard.
like nobody could really get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like I hardly touched my phone. I didn't post anything really on social media, and I realized I loved it. And then I became kind of grateful for the added time I had without the distraction. I realized
Mhm.
like how much you miss out on like someone trying to talk to you, and part of that came from a TikTok that I posted a couple weeks back, joking about how husbands have the attention span of a goldfish, of like how I think I look when my wife is talking to me, and it's like, oh, I'm staring her right in the eyes, paying a total attention. It's like versus reality, I'm like staring at my phone and I look up and go, what? I got a ton
And,
of backlash on that.
Yeah,
one.
so I mean, there's a lot of people who are not happy with that. I'm like, guys, it's a
I
joke.
got-
He doesn't mean it.
I got a ton. Well, but at the same time, like it kind of gave me the perspective of, well, this is a real thing. Like it is. So I tried to like, hey, maybe I can learn something from this. And so when my wife is talking to me, I try really hard to like look her straight in the eyes.
Uh-huh.
Not that it's hard to look at my wife. You've seen my wife. She's beautiful. I'm saying that like, don't get distracted, look her in the eyes and hear what she's saying. And the same thing with other people. And so I'm kind of grateful in this moment that you'd said that, because then it sparked these other, just kind of remembering something that I'm working on right now of like, my phone is a major distraction, and
Yeah.
it distracts me from my family, distracts me from my wife and kids. And so I'm kind of grateful in that moment for like the thing. It's on the forefront of my mind of like, put it away, put it away, put it away, pay attention. Because I realized this last week in on vacation, like you experience so much more of the people that you're sharing your life with if you're paying attention.
Yeah,
So-
especially our kid. Lydia came up, and I'm like, I
Really?
love that idea. Yeah, it was all with Lydia, and I just absolutely loved it. And so we were going with it. And then we have a nighttime prayer as a family now, and I love that. And it's just it's really brought in a different type of atmosphere in our family. It really has, and it's really
Mhm.
fun. And we all have our little areas that we sit and things that we talk about, and it's just fun. And all the kids start getting giggles, and they're weird, and it's just fun. And one
Mhm.
thing I told them today, my gratitude was just family dinner and how we're doing this, and I'm grateful for the kids, and I love them. And all the kids are like, I'm like, you shut up.
Yeah.
But they're
That's
just
so
making
funny.
fun of me. But
No, I love that, dude. That's so cool.
and then they also can hear the things like, I'm human, I have something low. Like I told them today, I was like, guys, I had a hard time at work. I was really tired, and that was my low, is work and not having the energy I felt like I needed to perform like I was supposed to.
Yeah.
And and I get to hear their lows, but it's really cool.
Well, when you just said that, when you say, you tell your kids you love them, gives you, another opportunity to say that just kind of reminded me of an experience that I had today. I'm not trying to just like come up with things that I'm grateful for just to kind of fit the episode today. So you and everyone else knows by now that I work with my brother. So we run this excavation company together, and my dad stopped by while we run the operation out of my brother's house. He has a big property with a shop on it, and we have an office inside the shop. And my dad stopped by for something. My brother and I both happen to be there working on some stuff, and he stops by, takes care of a few things, and then we're all just kind of sitting there chatting. And my dad, out of the blue, says, I don't say it a lot to you guys, but I say it to other people, but I want you both to know how proud I am of you guys.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
we are his only sons. So he has 5 daughters and then us 2 sons, and me and my brother were right next to each other in line. And he just said, I'm so proud of you guys. And I tell people all the time that I'm proud of my sons and what they do for work, and and they yada yada yada. And so I won't go into all the details, but it was just kind of like, oh, like, thanks, Dad. And like in the moment, because men sometimes are not the most like emotionally accepting of things like that, I was like, oh, thanks, Dad. And then he's like, yeah, I tell people all the time what you do, and I'm super proud of them. And I was like, oh, we play in the dirt for money? Like, just kind of made a joke about it. But then I just had the thought of like, I should really text him and say, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to say that, Dad, because even as a 33, almost 34-year-old man, it's nice to hear my, 60 plus year old father is still proud of me. So that was kind of you kind of just struck a chord and made me remember that of like, I'm grateful for that because that stuck with me. And I've been thinking about it of like, I need to text him or call him and just reciprocate that back of like, thanks, Dad. Like that really means a lot because you know how hard it is out here sometimes trying. So,
Well, your dad. So when you were gone, I introduced from what do I call my live that I do on Fridays? From stubble to style. So I started a new live.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, so 4 o'clock our time, and then afterwards I go straight to Amazon, and I do a live there.
mm-hmm.
And your dad, you're not on here, you're on vacation, and he's still there just supporting me, and I'm like, he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Like I've never met him in person or anything. He is like the most supportive, kind-hearted, just fun person. So it's been fun asking the whole group in the chat, like, hey, what's up? Tell me this, and this. And your dad's just throwing out music from old school, like the 70s, that he absolutely loved. And I'm like, this is cool. This guy's cool.
He's a good dude. I love my dad, and my dad shows up in different ways, and I've always been thankful for this. 2 quick stories, and then I want to share what Robert sent us. My dad, unless he was traveling for work and he could not avoid it, never missed a single one of my football games. I played all 4 years in high school to the point where he got severely rear-ended on the way home from work on Friday, totaled the car, and he was in a lot of pain, and he was sitting in the stands until the game was over, and then he went to the ER. Like that's just kind of how he was growing up. And then I have a really good friend, one of my best friends growing up that doesn't have a great relationship with his dad, kind of had a really rough go with his dad. And he told me, during just some times in the past, we were talking through some of his issues, that he really loves my dad and really looks up to him. And he's always been like a father to him as well. So I know we've talked about my dad a few times on the podcast, but I've always been thankful for the example that guy is to me. He, like all the rest of us, I'm sure he thinks that he's got shortcomings and he falls short here, and here, but he tries. And when he does try, it's apparent. And I'm super grateful for that. So I love that you said that about him, and he'll be kind of tickled, that you mentioned that. So.
Speaking of dads, my dad has always been there no matter what as well. And I remember Candace and I just barely got married, and we're working in Virginia. And we're going to school in Idaho. And so it's time to go back to school. And so Candace flew, and so did Isaac, because Isaac was like, and not a newborn, but maybe like 1. It was my last year in college. And so I was just going to drive our car all the way across the country and just meet in Idaho and all that kind of stuff. And my dad flew out specifically just to come, and he drove with me across it and things like that. So it sounds like your dad is a lot like my dad, or my dad's a lot like your dad, where they're just there to support.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was on Amazon Live last Friday, and he's there, and my mom are just supporting. Yeah, I think my whole point of the Amazon Live is actually get new customer base, and I think everyone was just my friends and family, like you, and then the rest of them are my family.
It'll grow. I mean, it was your first go, right? I mean,
I had fun. Awesome. This was fun. Was just like some really good friends. Good times.
I thought it was cool. It was just like you're just like, and this is this, and you're like a little Vanna White. You were like, and then here's this, and then here's this, and
or a big Vanna White.
But, sure, a very large Vanna White.
Oh, guess who decided to donate? Like I didn't do anything, but they heard our podcast, and guess who donated?
Who?
The guy from California, Big Beard Gang.
Beard Gang, California. Yeah. Alberto.
He sent me shirts. He sent me hats. All that kind of stuff that for the silent auction. And I thought, how cool is that? Robertina. Robertina. She's donating some stuff, and I don't know if you know Andy or not, but Andy's going to be distributing some stuff. He does all the fulfillment for Copper John's, and for all the big orders, and he's going to be donating some gift cards and stuff like that for a silent auction. So I thought that was really cool. So hopefully we get a little bit more, because my goal is about 10.
Yeah.
So
no, I've got a few that I'm working on. But just a refresher for anybody that's listening. We've got a charity beard competition that we're doing December 2nd at the barbershop, Copper John's Barbershop. So if you're here in Utah and you're listening, or even you're local, or you want to just kind of remotely donate, things like that, all the proceeds are going to I Got Your 622, which is a full nonprofit that goes for providing service dogs to veterans and first responders that deal with PTSD and other mental and emotional issues. It's such a freaking cool charity. We just did an episode, 2 weeks ago with Brian. Such a cool experience. And it kind of leaking back into what we were talking about today. Super grateful for the opportunity to meet him and get paired up with him, because you and I had been talking about trying to find someone or an organization like that. So it just kind of plopped into your lap. And so that's worked out really well. And I know, Brian's expressed his gratitude too, of just kind of getting paired up with us. And I really think it'll be a good thing going forward. I kind of wanted to get back. I know this never works out with me and you. We always start talking about something, next thing like, my dad's pretty cool.
Yeah, that could be the your
dad. But I kind of wanted to get back on the gratitude train real quick, because that's what we were talking about. I wanted to play Robert's audio. He sent me like a 3.5 minute audio. If you guys know Robert, he is turned up to 11 all the time, and he is infectious. Like the guy, to this day, we'd say we need to bring him on and have him talk about his life story. We're going to edit this out a little bit just for the sake that our podcast is rated clean. Towards the end of the audio, he uses
Robert.
It's Robert. Yeah. Like I said, it's, I love him to death. I don't have a problem with it, but for the sake of our podcast platform and what our ratings are, we're going to, kind of post-production, we're going to have to edit some stuff out for the actual audio that you'll listen to. But bear with me. The audio is probably not going to be great coming straight from my computer right now. But here we go.
Logan, Tyson, Dad, Bods and Beards podcast. So Logan reached out today and he goes, I know it's way past your bedtime, sweetheart, but if you would drop a little voice recording of what gratitude means to you, because it's so strong on your platform, which it is on all my social medias, and it just bleeds through my everyday life, and I use it every day. So I share it because it works. It's changed my life. It saves my life, and it continues to do both of those things. Every single day I wake up, I call it the wake up list, and then I go through my gratitude list. It's what I'm thankful for. It's what I'm grateful for. Gratitude is magic. Gratitude changes everything. Gratitude turns what you have into enough. And I'm not talking this hippy dippy dancing around drum circle gratitude. I'm talking real gratitude. Grateful for the small things, because in the end, later in life, you're going to realize those are the big things. They were the big things, and I've had the ability to notice this and see this, and it's all through gratitude, man. I wake up in the morning, like I said, the wake up list. I make a gratitude list, what I'm grateful for. It could be the small things, like I said. It could be the big things. Some are big. I'm grateful for my family, my health. I'm grateful for social media, this platform. So I can bring awareness to what works, because it does. You got to be grateful every day. If you go through anxiety, if you go through depression, gratitude helps these things. Once you realize what you have, the things you take for granted, somebody is praying for, and you got to be grateful for those things. Food, water. Some guy takes out your garbage out of your house every day. You set it at the end of the road, you pick it up, it disappears, you don't think about it anymore. Those are things to be grateful for. Your health. You're healthy. When you get sick, you think real quick, oh man, I wish I wasn't sick, and I took for granted all those days that I wasn't sick. It can be as small as a canker sore in your mouth. When you get a canker sore and you think all those times, man, I was taken for granted when I didn't have a canker sore. It is that small, but it's so big, because gratitude will change your life. If you implement it every day, if you get in a stressful situation, an anxious situation, a depressed situation, you start rattling off things to be grateful for, man, it helps. I'm not saying it cures everything. For me, 99.9% of the time it does. I mix it with exercise. That's a big one. But gratitude's the building blocks. Gratitude's the cement, the foundation. There's not a day that goes by I don't say what I'm grateful for. I don't tell somebody that I'm grateful for them. I don't mention it. I don't make a video about it. I don't ask somebody every single day for the past 8-9 years. And my life has just went up because of it. But it's all been good. I have bad days. We all have bad days, but gratitude helps. Gratitude is magic. Logan, Tyson, I'm grateful you guys gave me this platform. I don't know what you're going to use. I'm grateful for both of you. I'm grateful for our friendship. I'm grateful we met. And I'm just grateful, man. I am truly, truly grateful. Be great today, guys. Go to bed. It's late, bro. We got shit to do. Let's go!
I love that guy.
It's like, I'm sorry, Pat. Then he goes and repeats it like 30 times.
They just, yeah. So I might have to keep that and just find a way to like bleep it, because it just adds to it. It's just that, I mean, that is Robert, and I love him for that. But, dude, like I said, I just, that guy is so infectious. Like I've followed him on social media for a couple of years, and then when I got the opportunity to actually meet him in Vegas this last summer when we did the convention, I mean, we all clicked. Like, it was just like, he lights up the room, and like Matt is such an infectious personality. Like I'm super grateful for this kind of bearded friends group that we've created because of you, and to the fact where I can text somebody who's a fairly big creator and influencer on social media and be like, bro, can you give me a little snippet for our podcast? Because I think it would be super helpful. And he's like, boom, within an hour. And he's like, I am so grateful for the opportunity that you've given me to share my feelings on gratitude. Like, he was like super willing and like thankful that I asked him. So gratitude can be infectious. Now, I'm not going to act like it's the perfect answer to everything, because I don't have the same experience Robert does. Like, I try really hard to be grateful all the time. I can't say I have it ingrained in me to the same level that he does. I would love to, but I'm still working towards that. But I know that might be easier said than done for some people who are going through hard stuff, which is, we always like to touch on recognizing that people go through stuff, right? We talk about that all the time. But I wanted to ask you, having heard that now, and this might be a rhetorical question. Tyson, I do want you to answer. So keep that in mind. But for everybody listening, this could be a rhetorical question. And this is kind of the angle that I wanted to take with this week's episode was, what is it that you take for granted that you, with a different perspective, feel like you can be thankful for or have gratitude towards?
The things that I feel like I've taken advantage of is my family, and the time I've had with them. Meaning I've received, you know how you have your Google Drive and all this, or Dropbox or iCloud or wherever you put your pictures. I use Google, and Google will sometimes send you out old pictures from 5 years, 6, 7 years ago. And I got one during not Thanksgiving, that's this week, Halloween, of when all my kids were about, I don't know, 7 years ago, when they're all smaller, they're all trick-or-treating. Even Isaac was here doing trick-or-treating, and it hurt. It hurt because it goes so fast, and it made me just remember, because sometimes you need to get kicked in the butt and just remember that this time is fleeting. And so I have to always remember that, take this moment and be with your kids. And so I have definitely feel like sometimes I take not taking advantage, but overlook the here and now with my kids and my wife, rather than, hey, I'm working so hard on Copper Johns right now. I can't spend time with you. Instead, now I'm more spending time with them, and then I'm doing this late. Am I tired? Absolutely. But I feel like I'm more present for my kids, and I've really enjoyed them. And what was the second part?
How can gratitude help change your life for the better?
Yeah. Within, I guess, around Halloween is when we started doing the highs, lows, and gratitudes, and sitting with our family and doing all this. And now we go see movies as a family, and like, seriously, like, we're doing a lot of things as a family now. And I think being grateful and realizing that this moment is fleeting, we'll never get this moment again with our kids or with each other, me and Candace, that we're taking advantage of, and being grateful for what we have together right now. And it has changed our whole family dynamic, and it makes us want to serve others too. I've noticed that we're more serving, so we're serving to each other, but we're also like wanting to help family members or people that we see. So I've noticed that too. So being grateful helps us, changes our family dynamic, but also wants to serve others. And so being grateful, it does change your whole outlook in life. It does, like I said, and what he said, it doesn't change that what you're going through, but it makes it a lot easier and being able to cope and go through the things that you're going through, even if it's hard, because we have so much to be grateful for.
No, I like that. And I know it's at times that's easier said than done, right?
Oh,
like,
it's so
it's
much easier
just
said
like,
than done.
We've all had those moments where we feel like the roof is caving in, nothing's going right, everything's going wrong, and it's just so much. It seems like in the moment, so much easier to be pessimistic, so much easier to be not even pessimistic. I feel like that's like too harsh of a word. Like you're like existing. You're numb. You're just moving through, going through the motions. And I know that like some people, gratitude comes super easy to them. It just comes naturally. And then there's people like Robert who have made it a part of their life through major discipline to where now it comes very naturally to him. Because I know he's talked about a time in his life where he was the exact opposite. So I'm trying to kind of follow Robert's example. And I know, I know there's a few books and other creators and influencers stuff that he follows that kind of subscribe to that same gratitude and this thing that Robert he talked about his wake up list. So that's one challenge that I want to give everybody is to try for a week, for 2 weeks, or as long as you can cognitively remember it. I have an alarm on my phone that reminds me. The wake up list is before you do anything else, right when you wake up, as soon as your eyes are open and you are cognitively aware that you're awake, talk about tell yourself, whether in your head or even audibly, 3 to 5 things that you are legitimately grateful for. And Robert does this. It's called the wake up list. He shares his wake up lists quite a bit, like on his social media. I know you've seen him, Tyson. And I mean, there is something as simple as, he's thankful for having a car to drive to work. He's thankful for having a job. He's thankful for, having food to eat. And I mean, it can be super, super basic. It can be super grandiose. I mean, there was times in my life where I was so dark and down that it naturally came to me almost in a negative fashion of like, to get myself through the day. I remember telling myself like, I'm still here when I didn't want to be. I look back and take those moments for granted a little bit, and I'm grateful that I'm still here. So I know it's not this fix all, drug for everybody, but I know that it can be super effective and super life-changing when you, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I had an experience 12, 13 years ago. I was a really negative, angry teenager, and I was away from home. I was on a mission trip for my church, and I wanted to come home. I was super pessimistic, and I remember emailing my dad, telling him that I'm done. I want to give up. I'm tired of this, and all these things that I hated and I didn't like. And he left it up to me to make my decision what I was going to do. But kind of the sage advice that he gave me was, you can walk into the room and you can find 100 things wrong with the room, or you can find 100 things right with the room. And depending on how you look at it is going to have a direct effect on how you view that room going forward.
100%.
While there still might be defects in the room, gratitude doesn't cover them up, but you don't see them. They're not as prominent because you're looking at the beauty of the room. You're looking at the decorations. You're looking at the form and the function of the room. You're looking at, just all the positives about it. So gratitude doesn't make the negatives go away. It doesn't make the depressive, things about a situation go away, but it heightens the positive things. And we've talked about this before, dude. Like, just people who are perpetually negative, it's hard to be around them. So like, I'm trying to be a more positive person. I'm trying to be a more grateful person. I'm trying to be a more, source of light for people in my life.
You're doing a great
I'm trying.
Yeah.
You we're talking about examples. I know I don't touch on this a lot with you, but like, you are a major example for me in my life. And we're gonna get a little touchy feely here for a second. But like, I'm super grateful for our friendship, because I look at where I was a year and a half ago before I met you versus all of the things that I now have on my plate because of you. But
sorry.
but I mean, it's not just, I'm just grateful for the fact that I have a very healthy beard now because of you, but we've talked about this before, about having true friendship, even as an adult, as a father, as a husband, and just the positive influence that you are on me and my family and just everyone that you come in contact with. and helping create this platform with me that we can try to be a voice for change and positivity and help and hope for people. So I'm super
Well, I
grateful
feel the
for
same
that
way with you,
and
man.
for you.
No,
Yeah.
but I feel the same way. I'm very blessed that Candace. It's always how do I put this? I think you need to have a healthy marriage. You need to have a healthy relationship with your wife and your children. But I think everyone needs that friend that's outside of the marriage and outside of that you can just be yourself and be friends and you're that for me. So I appreciate that. I haven't had that for a very, very long time.
Man.
So it's really cool. I had a really close friend in high school, and we're still great friends. It's just unfortunate that he lived in Germany for 3 years with his wife at the Air Force. Then he went to Alaska for 3 or 4 years. Then he went to Washington for 3 or 4 years, and now he's in Florida. And so it's just like, you're when you see each other, it's like nothing ever changed, but you never see each other. So it's
yeah.
But it's you and him, and I'm like, this is weird. Just kind of like your high school friend that you grew up with, and
that's what I was going to say. Is you and I have a friendship where we're in constant contact because of just the crossover we do, and just with social media and the podcast, and just other just in general, just being friends. And then I have my best friend since we were 4. Thankfully, he lives here in Utah now too, even though we both grew up in California.
Mhm.
And he and I just went to lunch 3 weeks ago, and we hadn't seen each other probably in a few months. And it was like, boom, we're just talking about everything. I mean, it was like we didn't skip a beat. We've been friends literally for 30 years. Like, holy crap, 30 years. That's
cool.
But I'd say he and you are the only 2 people I can say are like my best friends. They're, I mean, just and on different levels. Like he and I go all the way back. We have all the nostalgia, all the growing up, all of that friendship, and then you and I have all of these relatable, life events and situations and just other stuff. So I'm grateful for friendship. I'm grateful for just, without a doubt, I don't say this enough, and this will probably kind of end it where I'm going to be able to talk because I might get emotional. Because of my battle with bipolar, I cannot express my gratitude for my wife. She is the only reason I'm still breathing, because there was plenty of moments where I didn't want to anymore. That woman has been literally the only person standing behind me in some of the darkest times of my life, where I had people turn on me. I had situations flip upside down, and even she had every right to walk away, literally, not just figuratively. She stuck by me and fought through, and she still continues to fight through and put up with a lot. But I am insanely grateful for my wife, Chelsea. Anybody that knows her, I say this all the time. If you have a problem with her, you are 100% the problem, because she is the sweetest, kindest, most tender-hearted, genuine people that I know. So I know I've talked about a lot of things that we're grateful for. That's where my gratitude starts and stops. That's what my wake up list is, waking up next to her, and my go to bed list is going to bed next to her, because she's everything for me, and I'm insanely grateful for that woman.
That's awesome.
But I hope that anybody that's listening to this episode, obviously we have a lot of listeners that are outside of the United States, and I know that Thanksgiving is a United States holiday, and there's a Canadian Thanksgiving. But gratitude and thankfulness is a universal topic. It doesn't have to just be around a holiday. So my challenge, like I said, just kind of reiterate it to everybody, is to try for at least the next week or 2, when you wake up, set an alarm, title it, wake up list, whatever. Try to make an active cognitive attempt at telling yourself what you're thankful for and what you're grateful for, because it does make a difference. I'm grateful that everybody freaking listens to us talk and ramble.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, my mama always said that when she was on her dying bed, she said, "Hey, son, look at that rainbow. And every time you see that rainbow, that's me giving you a hug. I'll build you a rainbow. Wow, wow, wow. Way up in the sky."
dude, your mom is alive.
I'm so grateful for my mama.
Oh man, what is that from?
I don't know. Some old church video.
Oh, I thought you were making that up on the spot.
It's generalized. I have no idea. It was like 20, 30, 40 years ago, but it was something.
It's funny is now whenever I see a rainbow, I'm just going to think about you going, when you see a rainbow, it's going to be me.
Me, just smiling down on you from heaven.
But
no, I would say definitely. I tell Candace every day how grateful I am for her and how much I love her, and that's something that her and I are very specific about. But I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for the values that my parents instilled in me, and there's just so many people. I'm grateful for my family, my kid, my brothers and sister, and all the support and love. Dude, I'm just grateful. Like it's gotten to the point where there's a lot of times where I'm overwhelmed with gratitude.
Sure.
Especially like right now, just with it being so close to Black Friday and customers who have become friends, and just how kind and just grateful for them, and it's just all that kind of stuff. It's just sometimes it gets overwhelming, and I'm like, sometimes I'm so tired, I don't want to do this right now, and then I remember why I'm doing it and how grateful these guys are, and it just makes me even more grateful for them. So there's a lot. I'm not emotional like that, but Candace has been my best friend for a long, you know what I mean? Like, she's literally every time we go to bed, she'll tickle my back. I never asked her. She just does it. And I love it. It's my favorite thing. So I'll try not to go to sleep if she's in the restroom washing her face, getting ready for the night. I'll just be like waiting and sitting up so I don't fall asleep. So she'll tickle my back because I just know she'll do it.
You're just like a little kid.
I am. Oh, she's great to me. She's so good.
That's so good. No, your wife is awesome. So everything aside, everything we talked about, like I said, the challenge, I want you guys to try to wake up this week. If you don't already, go follow Robert Michaelis on Instagram, TikTok or whatever. He will be the pick-me-up that you need every morning. And he'll also be a source of reminding you that you need to work out, because he posts his workouts at like 4 a.m. every day.
It's true.
But this week, going forward, try to find things that you're legitimately grateful for, and I promise you it will help. I'm not going to promise you it's going to change everything, because it doesn't just change overnight, but I promise you a positive, grateful outlook will positively impact your life. So I am grateful for all of you. I know Tyson is grateful for all of you. And for all you Americans, go eat some freaking turkey.
And all of you who aren't, go eat some freaking turkey. Thank you so much for listening, guys. It means the world to us. If you have a chance, please give us a 5-star review, as well as write something a little pretty in there so that we know that you know that we know that you care. Anyway, have a great day, guys. I can't do it.
Dude, that was good. I like that. You can't redo it without laughing. That was good.